There's a strange kind of silence that follows even your biggest wins. You get what you thought you wanted, the promotion, the relationship, the recognition. But then it hits you, this aching blankness. Not sadness, not exhaustion, something colder, quieter. Like the soul has left the room and nobody noticed. You keep moving, keep scrolling, keep pretending. But in the space between distractions, a question starts to whisper. Is this all there is? Friedrich Nietzsche had a name for that whisper. He also had a challenge. Don't run from the void. Become worthy of it. This is Neurocryptic, where we go beyond motivation and into the mind itself. Subscribe now and stay sharp. You were trained to chase goals. From the start, grades, money, likes, hustle, comfort. But no one trained you for what comes after getting them. Because no one talks about the desert that follows the dream. That flat, featureless landscape where everything looks fine but feels dead. People around you wear purpose like a costume. They know how to smile on cue. They know the script. But in private, they ache. Not because life is hard, but because it's hollow. Nietzsche didn't see this as a failure. He saw it as an inevitable phase of human evolution. Nietzsche's most infamous words, "God is dead. God remains dead. And we have killed him." It wasn't blasphemy. It was diagnosis. For thousands of years, humans built their meaning on divine foundations. But science, secularism, and modernity shattered that scaffolding. And what did we replace it with? Nothing. No moral center. No cosmic purpose. Just Netflix and endless work weeks. Nietzsche warned, when shared meaning dies, the soul doesn't rebel. It starves. And in that starvation grows a spiritual illness, nihilism. Scroll through your feed. You'll see it. The polished lifestyle influencer, smiling through filters, selling a version of life no one lives. The productivity guru, yelling into a ring light, promising that waking up at 4 a.m. will save your soul. The endless flood of AI-generated deep quotes, perfect grammar, zero depth. It's all so clean, so curated, so empty. We live in an age of spectacle, where surface has replaced substance, where appearance matters more than truth, where performance has replaced presence, where attention is the most coveted currency. But attention to what? You feel empty, not because you're failing, but because everything around you is designed to stimulate, not fulfill. You're drowning in content, but starving for meaning. You're validated by strangers, but alienated from yourself. And worst of all, you've been sold the myth that comfort is the goal of life, that avoiding pain is success, that pleasure equals purpose. Nietzsche rejected this idea with fury. To him, a comfortable life was not a reward. It was a trap, a velvet cage for the soul. Because what doesn't challenge you will eventually consume you. Nietzsche didn't offer comfort. He offered confrontation. His answer to the emptiness wasn't escape. It was confrontation. Step into the void, face it, and forge something greater from within it. He believed that inside every human being is a raw, untamed force, the will to power. This is not about control over others. It's not ego. It's the deep instinct to rise above despair, to overcome fear, to reject the pressure to conform. It is the power to take suffering and turn it into something beautiful, to transform confusion into vision, to find clarity inside chaos and command it. You feel empty, not because you lack something, but because you are overflowing with unrealized potential. You were not built to follow. You were not made to merely survive. You were made to create, to carve meaning out of madness, to become the author of your own existence, not the consumer of someone else's story. This is the will to power. And if something deep in you stirs at these words, you've already begun to awaken. Hit subscribe, because this is Neurocryptic, and this is your forge. Nietzsche imagined a figure who could rise above this spiritual collapse. The Übermensch, the Overman. Not a superhero, not a guru, but a person who builds their own morality, like an architect builds a cathedral. The Übermensch doesn't recycle beliefs. They invent new ones. They don't seek approval. They embody truth, even if it isolates them, and they don't wait for meaning to arrive. They become meaning. In a world of sheep and echoes, the Übermensch is the thunderclap. This is what Nietzsche dares us to become. Not comfortable, not polite, but dangerously awake. If you've made it this far, you already sense that the system doesn't work. Now here's what Nietzsche would challenge you to do next. 1. Stop performing. Start questioning. Tear down the autopilot. Don't just ask, "What am I doing?" Ask, "Why do I believe this matters?" If the answer is habit, guilt, or external praise, burn it. 2. Destroy false idols. Nietzsche said morality isn't sacred, it's a tool. Who's holding yours? If your values were handed to you, they're not really yours. Break them. Reforge them. 3. Embrace suffering as sculptor comfort is the great dulling agent. Suffering, though brutal, is clarifying. Nietzsche didn't worship pain, he respected it. Because what breaks you can also reveal you. Ask your pain, what are you trying to make me become? 4. Live. As if you had to relive it forever. This is eternal recurrence, Nietzsche's thought experiment. If you had to relive this exact life again and again for eternity, would you still choose it? If not, change it. Now 5. Build your own cathedral. Nietzsche's ultimate challenge. Create a life so meaningful, so aligned with your inner truth, that even your struggles feel sacred, not borrowed beliefs, not society's script, your cathedral, your rules, your flame. Subscribe now. We're not just exploring ideas, we're building weapons of mind. Don't treat this like an intellectual exercise. Nietzsche didn't write to impress you. He wrote to wake you. He knew that most people would rather drown in comfort than rise in fire, but a few, just a few, would hear the calling. To burn through the fog, to break the machine, to stand alone if needed, clear, honest, fierce. That's you. That's why you're still here. Not because you're lost, but because something ancient inside you is refusing to die quietly. Feed it. Fan it. Follow it. This is neurocryptic. And if you felt this in your bones, subscribe now. Because silence is loudest right before the soul wakes up.